My name is Elena Vargas. I am 34 years old. Last month at my brother Alejandro's wedding in front of 180 guests. With an open bar and a string quartet playing soft music, my mother grabbed the microphone during the toasts. She told the entire room that the only thing I had ever been good at was disappointing people. She laughed when she said it. So did half the room. I did not cry. I did not leave. I just sat there at the farthest table with the aunt nobody talks to and two co-workers who barely knew my brother's name. And I made a very quiet, very permanent decision. But before I tell you what happened next, I need to take you back. This story does not start at a wedding. It starts in a hospital room 23 years ago when I was 11 years old. My father Don Javier Castillo looked me in the eyes and told me I was the one he was counting on. The Castillo family, that is what we were. Grupo Castillo, a respected family enterprise my grandfather had built. My father Don Javier Castillo ran it by the time I was born. We were not rich but we were solid. A 4-bedroom home, church on Sundays. My mother Lucia Castillo was the kind of beautiful that made people assume she was kind. She was not unkind exactly. She was just selective. There was a warmth she gave my brother Alejandro that she never quite extended to me. Not in any dramatic obvious way. Alejandro was 4 years younger. From the moment he could throw a ball, the entire family reorganized around him. My father coached his teams. My mother kept every memory. I kept my grades up and hoped someone would notice. They did not. When I was 15, my father had his first heart attack. The family business started slipping. By the time I was 17 and applying to colleges, the financial picture was complicated. I had a partial academic scholarship. I needed additional funds to cover the rest. My father sat me down at the kitchen table one October evening. Elena, he said, the way he always called me when something was serious. I need you to hear something and know it comes from love. He told me they could not cover the gap that year. I looked at my mother. She was studying her coffee mug. What I did not know then was that 3 weeks earlier my parents had co-signed a large loan for Alejandro's sports program. Private coaches and facilities. I enrolled at a community college. I told myself it was temporary. It was not. The day after I turned 19, I moved to a new city with limited savings and a basic job offer. I was answering phones and scheduling calls. My apartment was small and faced a brick wall. I called home less and less because every call ended the same way. My mother asking when I was going to get serious about my future and my father mentioning how well Alejandro was doing. I took every free course I could find. I earned my professional licenses through dedication and late nights. By 23, I was managing a significant portfolio for a small firm. The owner was the first person in years who told me I had something special. You think like an owner, she said. You should be one. So I became one. At 26, I used every dollar I had to form my own company. Single member, just me, a laptop, and a rented desk. I kept my name completely off the public materials. No social media announcements. All contracts ran through the company and my attorney. Because I knew how my family worked. If they found out I was building something, they would find a way to insert themselves. By the time I was 30, my company managed hundreds of residential units and several commercial properties. Annual revenue had crossed $2 million. I had employees, a proper office, and a beautiful condo with views of the river. I wore what I earned. I asked nobody for anything. 2 years ago, Alejandro, who had not succeeded in professional sports and had bounced through jobs, came to me for help finding a property manager. He did not know it was my company. I took the account. My company handled everything. The clients have never been happier and referred more business. Alejandro told my mother how incredible the company was doing. My mother reportedly said that was the kind of work ethic Alejandro had always had. I found that out from my aunt, who still sent me updates. The morning before the wedding, my aunt warned me. Your mother has been telling people you were struggling and had some kind of breakdown. I thanked her. I still went to the wedding because Alejandro asked me to come. The ballroom was filled with white roses and eucalyptus. I wore a deep emerald dress and my grandmother's pearl bracelet. My mother intercepted me near the bar. You look tired, sweetheart, she said. Are you sleeping? I told her I was great. Dinner was fine. The speeches started. Then my mother stood up. She had clearly planned this. She talked about Alejandro, his resilience, his charm, the way he had overcome adversity. Then she looked at me. My daughter Elena is here tonight, she said. Elena has always done things her own way. No degree, no real plan, just figuring it out as she goes. 34 and still finding herself. She laughed lightly. A few people laughed. I was very still. I stood up, walked to the microphone, and picked it up. The room went quiet. I would like to say something, I said. My voice did not shake. Congratulations, Alejandro. I love you and I mean that. And to everyone here tonight, I want to be honest because my mother just told you I am still finding myself. Mom, the property management company that has been handling the clients Alejandro has been bragging about for months. That is my company. I built it. I own it. It manages hundreds of units and crossed 2 million in annual revenue. The room did not make a sound. I did not go to the top university because you told me there was no money. There was money. It went to other things. I am not saying that to hurt you. I am saying it because I am tired of being your cautionary tale when I am anything but. I set the microphone down, picked up my clutch, and walked toward the exit. My heels on the marble floor were the only sound. I pulled over later and sat in my car for a long time. Breathing. If you have ever been the family punchline, the one they describe as still figuring it out while your success quietly disproves everything. This is for you. I see you. Have you ever had to tell the truth in a room full of people who had agreed on a lie? 2 days after the wedding, my aunt called again. She told me something she had needed to say for years. My grandmother had left me a specific amount for education and development. My mother had intercepted it and redirected the funds. I recovered most of it through legal channels. I donated the full amount to a first-generation student scholarship fund in my grandmother's name. 6 weeks after the wedding, Alejandro called me. He had found out everything. We talked for 2 hours. It was the most honest conversation we had ever had. Our relationship is fragile now, but it is real. My mother has not contacted me directly. She tells people the revelation was staged. Maybe it was harsh to do it at a wedding. But I spent 23 years absorbing her narrative about who I was. Sometimes the truth has to be loud. Today my company continues to grow. We just signed our biggest project yet. I have a therapist who understands. I keep a photo of my grandmother on my desk. I visit her grave when I can and bring yellow roses. I did it, Grandma. I kept going. I am not angry at my family. Anger is a weight. What I have instead is clarity about who I am and what I deserve. Boundaries are not walls. They are the honest acknowledgement that you matter enough to protect. If you are watching this from a family that made you feel like a footnote, hear me. You are the whole story. You always were. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.